See what it does. So there it goes. I guess the big thing is what motivated you to get into environmental issues to begin with?
I think growing up in the desert, so growing up where there's not a lot of resources, not a lot of water, um, not a lot of food. It's really like then moving to Tennessee where everything is green and lush and beautiful, and you can grow food here really easily. You can like drop a seed in the ground and it'll actually grow, whereas in the desert you have to prepare your soil for a really long time, do all kinds of preparation to barely grow anything. So that really inspired me to grow things, and then finding out that how underappreciated this is in this side of the states where mountaintop removal is a common thing. And you know I've been living in Sequatchie where rock haulers come and rip giant rocks out of the gullies and the sides of the mountains and change the way the water flows, and no one really seems to understand or care about what impact that has on the little ecosystems and the little, every tiny little world that gets destroyed every time you move a rock or an entire mountain. And, just trying to find people that also are aware of that and want to help spread that awareness and try to stop it from happening if possible.
That it can be really painful sometimes seeing some of that.
For sure.
Tell me what you first did. I think you wrote it. No, did you write an article or something? You did something while you were like 9.
Um, Probably my first political move was I wrote a poem against Walmart in
Right,
Taos.
that's it.
Yeah, and for Kids Unleashed, and it was
You don't know it anymore, do you?
Definitely
Make you
not.
recite it.
I might have it somewhere, but I don't know it. But Taos is trying to. Taos is a tiny little town, and a super Walmart wanted to come there, and we already had a Walmart that supplied us with everything we could possibly need. And so it was a poem about how, Taos is a tiny community and we don't need a bigger Walmart. And it got aired on the local channel, and then a movement started behind it, and it was successful. And the Walmart that was going to be built, which was going to cover this huge, beautiful view outside of one of our more popular hotels, so that was also a big push in not having it happen, because instead of looking out and seeing the mountain range, you'd look out and see a Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up not being built, and there's still just the tiny little Walmart that,
Right, nice.
to this day, it's still the only Walmart there. But now there's like a Walgreens there and all kinds of other
Yeah.
things moving in.
Okay, let's see. I'm sorry to move on.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have to get ready. What is it that you do here in Chattanooga? I know you're doing the big garden, but you've done a lot of other stuff too. Can you just go briefly through some of it, or what do you think was your biggest push forward, your most exciting moment that keeps you going? Any of it, whatever you like to say.
Um, I don't know. I guess working with Sequatchie Valley Institute has been really inspirational throughout my entire life, since I moved here.
It's nice to be inspired by a group.
Yeah. And I came into the group as, a young teenager and worked through them and met Mountain Justice through them, met a bunch of other activists, learned more and more about what we can actually do for our environment and how important it is for us to do everything ourselves, like the power of one person doing what needs to be done themselves, instead of
Nice.
encouraging a whole group of people to do this theory of something. That's been really inspirational, and now I'm actually a board member of the group, and I was living next to them for over 2 years, and working through that and going from just being an outsider to all the way up as a main part of the nonprofit.
Right. And what are you working on now?
Right now, I'm working on Food for Life, which is going to be pretty exciting. And Sandor Katz is going to come down and do a workshop. I'll be doing a fermentation workshop as well. And we're just still looking for a few other people. There's going to be a lot of food politics going on, and various bread baking and wildflower hikes and identification hikes, and it should be a full packed weekend.
Nice. And how many of these have you done?
I've worked on, last Food for Life I was the kitchen, and that was extreme. Maybe two or three
Mm-hmm.
that I've actually really been working on.
And I guess the big question is, where do you want to head with all this? What's your goal, if you have one? Or I mean, many goals, no doubt, but a dream.
Right now, I'm focused way more on gardening and farming, and trying to grow as much food as possible, because I feel like that's the most important issue right now, is that we need to have as much fresh produce and as many products like cheese and like finished products as we can get by local farmers, and get everything as local as possible, so we don't need to keep transporting, and if we don't need to fill trucks full of tomatoes to deliver them from one place to another, then we don't need to blow up the mountains for the gas, and
Mm-hmm.
we can go into our backyards and pick our own tomatoes. It saves all kinds of resources, so that's been my main focus, and it's springtime now, so it's been picking up pace and getting pretty busy.
Anything you want to end with?
I don't know.
Well, that works for me. That works for me.